Hello there, my name is Lavin Jai. This is News Review. Thank you for being there today, the 22nd of September 2021. Coming up on the show today, Tourism Minister Hamad Ba announces fully vaccinated visitors to the Gambia will not be tested for COVID ahead of the opening of the tourist season. We have that report for you, but also GRA tax collectors fight with businessman at Albert Market. We have that story also for you. Today, I'll be joined on the show by Samsudeen Sarr. He'll be my guest today. Before all of that, we will quickly see what the newspapers report on today. Let's see the Standard. Their lead story is on General Ntombon Tamba, saying General Tamba says Barrow re-election easiest way for Jammeh's return, saying retired Army General Ntombon Tamba has told APRC supporters, especially those in 4G, that voting for President Adama Barrow is the easiest path for Jammeh's return to the country. In a WhatsApp audio recorded to specifically address APRC supporters who are against the alliance with NPP, General Tamba said, the alliance with NPP is the right thing to do because the easiest way for Jammeh to return to this country is President Barrow winning the election. Also on the Standard, Kex arraigned for false information. Prominent Doi supporter and activist Kemseng Sane, alias Kex, was yesterday arraigned before Magistrate Mam Samba Jallo of the Kanifing Magistrate Court, accused of giving false information to the public. Kex was initially arrested in March following a case report he filed at the police alleging that unidentified men or people kidnapped him. The police later issued a statement suggesting his story was false and that he was in fact in a house with a marabout when the alleged kidnapping was supposed to have happened. Also on the Standard, man in court for allegedly raping 15-year-old, saying a man has appeared at the Bundu Magistrates Court charged with one count of rape, to wit, repeatedly raping a 15-year-old girl. Abubakar Sadikan, 21, is accused of raping the girl at Lamin village in the West Coast region between July and September. According to prosecutors, the accused raped the victim multiple times. He has denied the charges. Foroya newspaper, let's see what the Foroya is reporting on today. Banjul City Council calls for urgent remedy of city's ring canal, saying the Banjul City Council said on Monday that the main ring canal of the city is not functioning and that this is affecting some parts of the city. So we'll leave it at that for the newspapers. It's not much. We'll leave it at that and take a short break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. So Tourism Minister Hamad Ba has announced that fully vaccinated visitors to the Gambia this year will not be subject to any COVID test or quarantine. Well, the Tourism Minister was speaking ahead of the opening of the tourist season set to start at the beginning of next month. He spoke in Nyamina Dankunku during President Adam Barrow's meeting there.
And the Ministry of Tourism and their stakeholders and technical staff.
And the Ministry
We started the discussion since Sunday. Yesterday we concluded the discussions under the instruction of His Excellency the President of the Republic.
His Excellency President Barola Yamarokan.
President Barrow want to see the Gambian youths are employed again.
Banco President on last Banco funding he
want to see the tourism industry back again. It has been one of his major concerns. Therefore, The two ministries have agreed upon consultation that with effect from 1st of October, any visitor to the Gambia, any visitor, if you have a Q&R code, you have a certificate certified and you are fully vaccinated, you are free to come to this country without PRC test, without any rapid test, and you will not be quarantined. You are not required to come with a PRC test certificate. And you will not be subject to rapid test. And you will not be quarantined. Provided that you present a certificate showing that you are fully vaccinated. And we know the airlines also will not board anybody without a certificate proving that you are vaccinated. Order to that.
Now, officials of the Gambia Revenue Authority were involved in a fight with a businessman at Albert Market. Father Kamara was at the Albert Market and she came through with this report.
Mr. Dam said he has forgiven the GRA tax collectors after a fight in his boutique in Banjul Albert Market last Tuesday that resulted in him spending a night at the Banjul Police headquarters. The market vendor accused GRA tax collectors of using foul language as they requested him to pay his tax after not seeing them for 5 months. He said the insult resulted in a big fight.
First question, dama dey am ak problème guys affaire fay bi non musul am because of say ma masana jox kay dama dey dem fay tuma ifin lancing income tax duties everything BCC yep suñ ma masana jox kay dama dey dem fay mais bi misunderstand mi liko waral moy xeyna jox nañu kay 5 months ci ginaaw ñun tamit demuñu xeyna comité maquette bi ñoo ñu waxon après dinañ waxtaan ak ñoom ñu xool naka la ñoo wàññee charges yi because of market bi marché Banjul ku nekk xam ne mooy loolu doxul ba noppi liñ charge seer na ñu ne gars yi ñañ waxtaan ak ñoom pour nuñ ko wàññee si ka waxtaan boobu noonu xawma nag gars yi comité market bi fan lañ mujjee jaari waaye demoon nañ fa waxtaan ak ñoom ñu taxawee fii suma buntu place misunderstanding bi mooy ci kaw tëjal ak ñàkkale tëj because biñ dikkee ne dañuy tëj dama leen ne tëj leen because man soobee jiitu place bi yëpp dañ ko tëj so duma nangu duma bañ ngeen tëj suma place after ñu ñëw foofu ñu waxtaan ñu xool na ñu self problème bi waaye xam nga tëjal ak ñàkk tëj warloo see saaga doomu aadama fin serviceman boo mën a doon kenn digalu la pour nga jàkkaarloo nit ki di ko saaga.
Dam said he is aware of his duties and responsibility and would make sure he continues to live by them.
bañu ñoo fay sa xam nañu réew mi ñu nekk jaar yi ku nekk xam nañ ay jàmbaar lañ parce que réew mi yëpp seen loxo la nekk bari nañ luñ fiy liggéey ñun dañuy gëstonte ak ñoom bari nañ lu ñu liggéey ci réew mi ifin tali everything seen loxo la nekk kon ñun liñ leen di fay loolu la ñuy wëlbatiku du liggéeyaat réew mi kon fay gi mënut a ñàkk loolu moom by force la mais ñu ñuy continuer waat rek dañuy understand xam ne business bi na woon demeewul noonu soo léegi charges bi tamit ñuy bañ di sóoraale ki yàlla may lu bari ak ki yàlla may lu ndew ñuy sóoraale ci côté boobu noonu.
Kamara, a vendor and neighbor to Dam, advised GRA tax collectors and all those holding government offices to avoid the use of force in carrying out their duties.
Problème bi happen na fekkee na waaye man danaka mun naa wax ne dama toog rek gis problème ñëw ndax man am na ku ñëw ci man di wax ak man di ma laaj ci affaire jaar yi may wax ak moom pare gu mu ngi yow clé keneen ki mu ngi wax moom si laa toog rek gis xeex bi commencé ñu dem at ñun nag sotuñ ndax buñ sotoon xajuñ ci ñoom ay nit nag bu ko dee ne nguur moo ko yónni mu am benn background bu muy demee ñun dafa am lu ñuy sóoraale ngir moom waaye ñoom ku ci manti nekk bu doon dañoo dox ci mbedd te dajee kenn amul train pour ñëw attaque kon su ñuy fayeeku liñ ciy ñaan te yàlla tax te muy koy ñaan képp kuy liggéey ci nguur bàyyi xel ne place ba nga nekk bés dina jot nga bàyyee koo fa keneen ñëw fa kon da ngay gis ne nañ ko def ci yar def ko ci teggiin xam ne ñun Gambie Sénégal man mii di wax tey suma bàyyi fi la juddoo suma yaay juddoo fi waaye am naa ay mbokk yoo xam ne bi Sénégal du Sokone du Kaolack du Dakar fu ma dem du ma nekk gan damay bokk kon diggante bi xat na xat boo xam ne yéen ñi jaruñ ko fay ñoom ñi ñuy fayee ko xam ne ni seen salaire sax ñoom dañuy fay lem kon ñun bu ñu ñëwee nañ fay nañ suñ ñu tegee lu jaadu dañ mën a fay te benn coow du am ñu ngi nekk BGC nañ ko fay every year waaye kenn ma ci dégg ñu coow ak ñoom waaye nag boo jëyee koo fële ñëw jaay ne man ci nguur laay liggéey lii ngay fay ci doole loolu dafay andi problème te loolu problème ñu fi comme man ci suma gis-gis li andi problème bi yëpp mooy ne ñi ñëw discipline bi ñu war a ñëwee moo des nit ki soo ko fekki see mu ngi liggéey il faut nga wax ak moom ci dal xëy na bi mu ko dalee ñun ñëpp tëj ne suñu place dem yaaree suba ba ngoon ñu yóbbu kees bi police fa lañ nekk ba ten ci guddi ñu dalee ba ku ñëwaat fii ne ci di ci dox yi ci am lépp sax mënuñ ko wax waaye fexe nañ ba dox ci jàmm am ci.
Mustafa Jom, manager of the market, confirmed the incident. However, he said he cannot comment on the issue, thus referring the network to Elba PRO BCC. The PRO travelled according to BCC security guards in BCC. The network again drove to GRA head office in Banjul to have their own side of the story. The receptionist at the office during the time of arrival, Adama Jallo, told the network the team was unavailable at the time. She promised to reach out to the network on the issue. In the same line, police PRO Lamin Jai was unavailable for comment regarding the issue. Fatu Kamara reporting for the Fatu Network News Review.
South Africa Global brings you exquisite yet affordable state-of-the-art commercial rental spaces available at Madiba Mall, located at Brewfoot Gardens Estate. These commercial spaces comes with facilities such as 24-hour security, standby backup generator, air-conditioned spaces, conference room, and personal cash power meters. If you are looking for a spacious and suitable business environment, look no further. Madiba Mall retail and commercial spaces are just what you need. Call us today and reserve a space. For more information, please call 733-3363 or 594-1053, or you can send an email to info@toughafricaglobal.com.
Very well, welcome back. So today my guest will be Samsudeen Sarr, former Deputy Ambassador of the Gambia to the United Nations.
Yes, correct.
Sasa, thank you very much for coming on the show once again.
Thank you. Welcome.
Let's begin with the big issue. APRC NPP.
Yes.
APRC opting or electing to work with NPP. People have reacted variously to this. You have those who say it shouldn't happen. You have those who say that's the way to go. Where do you stand?
That's the way to go. That's where I start. That's the way to go. I don't know how you want me to elaborate.
Elaborate and explain why you have taken that position.
Yeah, so many things transpired after the impasse in 2016. You have been probably following my writings, my audios everywhere. I've been questioning a lot of things that I thought were dividing the nation rather than uniting the nation. And I thought reconciliation was very necessary. 22 years of what was somehow a military government that was endorsed and embraced by a lot of Gambians, and still some are nostalgic about that government. You know, I thought it was really unfair and not, in fact, counterproductive to go the route the government took after 2014, after 2016.
Yeah.
Because so many things transpired, and in the end, there wasn't any chaos. But following the development, I was at the UN, I know how everything evolved to where everything ended. And my primary concern at the time was to avoid conflict in the country.
Yes.
And I was happy there was none. You know, I don't know whether you guys were following me, but soon after Jammeh left and Barrow was inaugurated, I wrote even a document, a paper, congratulating him, saying, well, we should forge ahead. Now, but then so many things transpired, including, you know, the Jammeh Commission that was to investigate the assets of Jammeh and all that. The result was not very nice, very good. And we also have the Constitutional Review Commission, which I thought was not necessary, that we had a constitution that we could have even revised and just adjust it to suit the situation, but so much money was spent there. And then the destructive part of the TRRC that came and was not constituted in the right way, not conducted in the right way, and it divided the nation to some extent where I thought it was driving us into a conflict, in fact, because the country was very polarized. Now it came to where even the original, coalition government disintegrated, and you know, politics as it is, you know, developed into where the ruling Barrow, who was in charge, looked into his interest of having a coalition with the NPP to give him a second term. And I saw also the possibility of a reconciliation and also participation in the reconciliation. You know, so that is why I think it's quite a progressive thing.
I know you are someone who, I mean, belong to the group of Gambians who really do not see some of the terrible things that are being said about the former president. And a lot of people who are balking at this alliance, this is what they are saying. You have a terrible leader whose party endorsed all of the terrible things that he did. Now you have that party coming to work with a party that has promised to give justice to the victims, to ensuring that justice is done and served. And what do you have to say about that? The issue of Jammeh and the things that he has done in this country which are bad, and you have a lot of victims who believe that he should be brought to justice.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see it as the party supporting the bad things Jammeh was doing. As a matter of fact, I think it was in the wake of DRC that most Gambians knew what was going on, including members of the APRC party. Fabakary Tombong Jatta, and all of them did not necessarily know what was going on, including me and so many people. Now, the revelations at the TRRC, of course, made it look as it was the worst government that had ever existed in this country. But I think
that is what it is.
I don't think so, Lamin. I don't think it was like that. I think the TRRC...
It was a bad government.
It wasn't necessarily a bad government at the time it happened. If it was that bad, it wouldn't have survived a day. But when it happened, it was welcome, and people participated throughout, including the very people now saying it was a bad regime, were part of the regime, including lawyers, intellectuals, businessmen, everybody.
You don't think Gambians are naturally self-serving, selfish? They don't want to see the bad things. So long they are fine and their family, whatever Jammeh does, it's okay by them. So long it doesn't affect them. So long they are in there and they are enjoying them.
You see, it wasn't Jammeh alone. So many people came to the TRRC and said, including many victims, who said, you know, it wasn't Jammeh alone. It was all of us. If we want to challenge Jammeh, we have to challenge all of us. And that's the way I look at it. That in 1994, when we were all rounded up and arrested, all senior officers, and taken to Mile 2, the very people today going to the TRRC, being bold and talking about prosecute this, that, and that. We are the very people justifying it. Justifying it. I see, some even in the TRRC saying that they were willing to prosecute us, not knowing that we did not do anything, but that it was a coup d'etat, which is a new situation, very crazy. Other countries, we did not learn anything from other countries, but coup d'etats are nasty. I would have never supported a coup d'etat, and when it happened, we tried to stop it, the senior officers. It failed. We were all arrested. Nobody stood there to help. My parents went to look for lawyers. They couldn't get one person, lawyer in the country to represent us. It was justified. They welcomed it. Jawara had to go. And by then also, Jawara, to some extent, with everything that we are saying beautiful about him today, was seen as somebody who overstayed his limits, and not only that, but also caused a lot of havoc in this country. 1981 was a typical example of what happened when the field force tried to overthrow him and the Senegalese intervened. Over 1,000 people died. Over 1,000 people died. I know families that up to this day don't know where their people are, buried in mass grave. Not a single effort was made to at least try to find out who was lost and at least bring them accounted for. We don't even know where they are. Senegalese who came and fought for the regime were compensated. They were paid and honored in Dhaka. So you see, but we lived through it and treated it as probably government mistake that we could live with and continue because stability and everything was in order. So you see, the same scenario happened in 1994. When things are stable, I heard the lawyer saying that coup d'etat is illegal until it is successful. That was a dumb statement, but we accepted it. When it was successful, all the lawyers rallied.
Which lawyer said that?
Oh, Esafal said it. Esafal said it. And even...
you are saying that is a dumb statement?
Oh, it is a dumb statement because I went to military school.
Well, coups are illegal.
Coup d'etat is a mutiny. And, mutiny is treasonous, and treasonous offenses.
It's a capital offense.
Capital. You cannot say that when the offense goes through, it's good. It's just like stealing is wrong until you get away with the theft. So I don't see it the way you guys are looking at it. I saw something that happened and changed the dynamics of the country. Jammeh, unfortunately, was a soldier, and not only a soldier, he was minority. He was minority. People didn't know Jammeh was Jola until later. But I was within, and I knew the vibrations. Who planned the coup? It was Barrow. Barrow came and sat down with Singate, Sabali, Kinte, Kante, and said, we're going to organize a coup. Barrow is going to be our leader. Barrow every day in his life was like, let's organize a coup. This country, we have to get rid of this government. It's bad, it's bad. Every day in his life. So they organized it. But it evolved in a fluid situation that also consumed them. That's why I hated coup d'etats. I don't endorse it, and I will never support it. But when it happened, I adjusted to the situation. It was almost a war situation. We intervened and stopped the war. I physically intervened that day to stop the war.
Let me bring you back
to
the APRC-NPP alliance.
Yes.
While you have the leadership of the APRC, I mean, including even Jammeh, at least according to the leaders that are on the ground, saying they've been in touch with Jammeh and Jammeh endorsed this move. But yet you have supporters of the party who are against this marriage.
Yeah,
what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, the marriage, you see, you got to find out why they don't support it. Because the reasons are given, the reason they are given are crazy. Like Jammeh, in fact, some believe that there isn't going to be elections. That Jammeh is going to be here in December. Russians are going to come here, topple the Barrow government, remove him from State House and reinstate him. That's one camp of this no alliance movement. There's another camp, there are two camps within, who believe that October Jammeh is coming to contest the election. So you can see that these are not jobs. You know, they are not really realistic in what they are thinking. So to some extent, I even see them as trying to just merely undermine the coalition to stop it from happening, because when it happens, it means success for the government and the coalition party. You know, that's what I believe they are undermining. In fact, like I know people who are strongly convinced that the opposition parties are the ones sponsoring these dissidents or this no alliance.
The rebels.
Thank you, call them whatever you are, to ensure that it doesn't happen, because they know it's a done deal when this alliance happens and they could lose. People think there are sponsors.
One person who is a part of this is your friend Eme Ba, and there were reports really that he has joined NPP, and I think it was you who was clarifying that he hasn't joined UDP.
Yes, you know, Eme Ba, I know him long ago. When I was the army commander, he was in the finance office as a young cadet, and we were very close. We worked together until I left the United States. To the United States. Later on, I heard about his involvement in the 2006 coup d'etat, his detention and all that. But when I came back, we bonded together again. You know, and he was Minister of Interior. The day of the impasse, when I was sure that the military forces are coming into the country from the UN, I called Eme Ba, I called Drame, I called Sow, who was the operation commander, and advised them to ask all the soldiers to leave the barracks, not to confront the invading forces, because they are out to massacre them like worse than what happened in 1981, because the impression was MFDC rebels were in the country. So I told, get away, get out of the camp, don't even let anybody stay there. Eme Ba was one of them. So they appreciated it. In fact, when the troops came in, I even advised him to organize a dinner for them, reception, and they did. We were communicating. So later on, I remember one day he called me and said, Jammeh said you should come and assist in the APRC, because he was actively involved in the APRC, come and assist in the running of the party. In fact, they should make you Secretary General. And I was like, what makes you think that I want to be Secretary General? And how can I be Secretary General from the States when these people have been working on this party for so long? But I told him, if Jammeh wants to say anything to me, let him call me. And he said, okay, Jammeh's not calling me. He never called me. And later on, he came and I had an audio where Jammeh is saying that he should be dismissed from the party because he had a conflict, a problem with the executive. And he was dismissed. He came to me and said, oh, I'm going to attack Jammeh, blah, blah. I said, no, take it easy. You don't do that. You are emotional. And the next thing I know, he was UDP. He was interviewed by even Omar Wali, where he said he has never in his life supported Jammeh. Even when he was made Minister of Interior, to him, UDP was the best because Dabo was the Democrat and nobody else. You know? And after a while, we talked, and there was this suggestion that the NPP government can reinstate him in the army if he could come back. He consulted me, consulted friends, and we said, go ahead. He wrote and went and, you know, shifted his loyalty from UDP to NPP. Then that was the last time I heard about this guy, Eme Ba, until I went to Barrow. And he could even call me and say, when we are going, why didn't you go? I said, oh, you already went to NPP. It's okay, you and Landik Sane. But then suddenly, recently, I heard that he is one of the breakaway team who is now member of the APRC. He cannot. The APRC has one structure. You cannot break away. If you want to break away from your own party, like the PPP, those who break away from the PPP, they call themselves All People's Party.
Gambia for All.
Gambia for All Party. Others, they break away. You cannot break away from the party when the organic party is there and call it.
MA's claim is that this is a soldier party. I know the likes of Bakso have dismissed that, the likes of Balagaba Jafumba have dismissed that.
And I will.
That AFPRC and APRC are different.
Yeah,
but he is
certainly.
saying that this is a soldier party and you cannot knock soldiers' head together. You can never do that. This is a soldier party. The current executive is trying to hijack a soldier party and he's not going to allow that.
No, apparently I'm having some different feedback now from his group. They are even saying that his leadership role shouldn't be accepted, that he should stay behind if he wants to sponsor the party rather than coming in the front like Ablai Bojang to assume the leadership responsibility, because their part is not showing a very dynamic posture of the rebellious group. They are saying no to his leadership now. I know about that. But I don't believe in that. You see, when you talk about soldiers' party, look at what the Jammeh government did to soldiers. I think soldiers suffered the most during that regime, because soldiers were easily targeted, and when victimized, nobody questioned the victimization of a soldier. They think it's just a military stuff, when it is not true. Soldiers arrested, when executed, nothing happened. Oh, if a soldier, that was wrong. We are just like civil servants, especially officers. We are just like civil, who should have been treated like any other person in the country. But you see, this mentality of soldier stuff is not true, doesn't exist anywhere, and well.
That is what he believes in, and he's saying that no one can finish a general, that he's a general, that no one can finish a general. You are also a military man. Can you help me with that?
Yeah, apparently, I don't, no, it's a joke.
Okay.
It's not a trend, it's a joke.
Yes.
Like a joke like Jammeh is coming in December with forces from Russia. It's the same joke. Don't take it seriously, don't tell them. They know me. They know me. We work together. When I was Army commander, he was a cadet officer. So I don't think Ba will ever say that in my presence.
Now, let's also talk about the election.
Yes.
It's around the corner. All the parties are making their moves. But before that, you have claims that the NPP-APRC alliance marriage is to stop UDP from taking power.
I do not necessarily say that. I have never said that.
No, there are claims.
Yes, okay, because you said, I don't know. Everybody will come with a justification of why they do what they do. I think that's one narrative, that we are doing it to stop the UDP, from the UDP from coming in. Because at some point, UDP was not very, very nice to APRC. They have consistently emphasized their promise to prosecute Jammeh and everybody who has been found guilty by the TRRC Court of Esafal. We're going to enforce it. We're going to implement it. We are going to do this. They have never been that flexible. It is just now that I am hearing, for the first time, I heard lawyer Dabo the last time said, I have forgiven Jammeh the day I left the prisons. Of course, what is left for the courts to do will be left for the courts to do, but left to him alone, as a victim of Jammeh, he has forgiven. And has also, when going further, to say he's opened his doors to APRC members who could come to his party. And I have seen a lot of APRC members move to the UDP, and it's perfectly normal. Why is it not perfectly normal or normally normal for APRC to go to NPP or any other party? You see, that's really hypocrisy. You cannot say that the UDP is open and APRC can go there, and I've seen a lot of them there, and it's wrong for APRC guys to go to NPP because they are enemies of the country.
That doesn't make sense to you.
It doesn't make sense. Does it make sense to you?
I'll answer that later.
Because I mean, like, so.
Yes. So, but then let me. I mean, now that has been the. I mean, one of the issue has to be the return of Jammeh to the country. That is something that is very dear to the hearts of APRC supporters. They want Jammeh back.
Yes.
Then also one of the things that I've seen stalwarts of APRC people say is that we have to make sure that UDP doesn't win. If they win, we are in trouble. I have listened to some of their leaders say this.
Yes, but if you listen to me, if you continue listening to me, I have said this over and over, that if UDP should win, I don't want them to win now, but if they win...
Why do you not want them to win?
Yeah, because I am already aligned with the NPP, and I am wholeheartedly in it.
I
want my camp to win.
Yes.
But if they should win, I don't think they will be as vicious as people are projecting them to be. You know, because that will not construct a constructive nation, you know, in order to run a nation. So they are going to look for capacity.
But are they going to be vicious at all?
I don't expect them to, because the world has transcended viciousness. Looking at America withdrawing from Afghanistan with all their might. Yesterday, Joe Biden said, we are not going to show the power it's no longer the power of the example of the power of America. It is no longer the example of the power of America, but the power of the example of America. That is like trying to bring humanity, negotiation, not viciousness, not fighting anymore. And I think any government, look, even the Taliban today are saying they have forgiven America. They just want to reconcile because they know survival depends on getting together, working together. You can never be a rebellious state in this country. If the UDP is to run a government in the way some of the APRC are thinking about it, envisaging it, or a lot of people are looking at them, then they will not be able to work with any country in this sub-region, especially Senegal. And Senegal, to some extent, is a key factor to our survival in security-wise, government-wise, and everything. I listen to political parties campaign everywhere. Nobody tells me what you're going to do with your security when you win with Senegal.
So that fear is misplaced then?
I think so.
Let's also talk about the election. I mean, it's approaching.
Yes.
And then we've seen all the movements by all the political parties. But first, what is your take on your friend, Essa Fall, running? He said he will win. He has presented himself as the best candidate.
Yes.
And he is saying he is winning, your friend.
Yeah, that's perfectly normal. Every candidate will present himself as the best. I endorse that. That's the way. You know, he's very aggressive, very confident in what he does. But I don't think he's going to make it.
Why?
Yeah, because, you know, he is not the type of leader the Gambia wants. Because Essa, in the back of his mind, is ready to prosecute Jammeh, prosecute anybody who has been implicated or accused of doing anything at the ATRC, including this Samsudeen Sarr.
Because you are just being personal.
Oh, no.
Because he denied you a chance to speak.
Not necessarily denied me the time, but you have seen how he treated me. You know, the guy, I will not forgive him for. Some people have called me and they say, "Hey, I'm going to kiss some Mbokala." If it is the Mboka I was looking for, I've given up in Mboka.
Yes.
No, I don't think he's going to win because, look, Essa is not, to me, an honest person. And he deceived the Gambia by using the TRRC as a political platform, disguised as somebody who is apolitical when he is not. You know, the TRRC Act, I was reading it again today, says that anybody with political ambition or political affiliation should not be part of it. If he had disclosed his political ambition or his affiliation with the UDP, which he disclosed the day he was launching his party, I don't think Adama Barrow would have appointed him as lead counsel.
So I think he hoodwinked the Gambians?
Yes, he did. That was deception, and it is unlawful because he has said it over and over at the TRRC that when you swear on the oath and lie, you are committing a crime. It is an offense.
I have seen Mayor Young Bokoli say that he should be arrested.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's extreme. But I think they should investigate him and probably even charge him for deceiving the country. For not being honest to the country. Not to be honest to the...
That would be problematic.
Not to be honest to the TRRC Act.
Yes.
The TRRC Act, you cannot be political. And now he told us the day...
You will charge him for perjury then?
Everything that you can imagine. Whatever the law books can... I will even go... because that was wrong. And you could see it in the way he was behaving. When I look at the TRRC once, twice, I said to myself, if I were Barrow, I will stop the TRRC because of SFL. There was a time when he was ridiculing him. And you know that they always have a preliminary meeting with the witnesses. They discuss what they should say and all that. When the woman came and said, during the Solo Sandeng issue, Adam Barrow was scared of the police. He ran under the bedroom, under the bed, and we, the women, confronted the police, and he was scared to come out. Asa enjoyed it. It was so hilarious. He was laughing his heart out.
He enjoyed that.
He enjoyed that. You see, and then not only that, he went further to often say, this country needs people with better education than the leaders we used to have, or even have now. And to compound everything was when he literally attacked the government for taking the position they took during the 3 years Jotna. He told Yankuba Sonko that what you did during the 3 years Jotna was wrong. You should have allowed people to do their demonstration, but you stopped them unlawfully. That day, I would have called this guy and say, shut this down. This guy is too political, and he is not giving me what I expect from him. Because he was really undermining the, and then, you know, launching his party even before the report was produced, and to say that I was political. I was UDP, I was sponsoring them, like Asma Husseinu. You know, I was there for them, you know. I think that was all really unlawful.
Now, you are saying he's not going to win. That is what you are saying. That is what your opinion is. Let's also talk about the Grand Coalition. I'm sure you are aware of that.
With Grand Coalition?
That is a Grand Coalition of 6, well, talks are ongoing for a Grand Coalition to face the NPP/APRC alliance.
Yes. Who are the members? You know?
You have Gambia for All, you have Gambia Democratic Congress, GDC, you have NUP, National Unity Party, Citizens Alliance, All People's Party. All of these are parties that are locked in talks for a Grand Coalition against the NPP-APRC alliance. I mean, should there be a coalition, a grand coalition against the NPP-APRC and the 5 others or the 4 other parties? Would that present much problem, a threat?
Well, I think I will. You know what I see? It will be another form a chaos within the parties that are working to form the coalition rather than a threat to it. We have consolidated what we want already. You know, we have gone through the hurdles, the difficulties, and finally we are settled and we are focusing in building what they are going to go through this again. Because, you know, people will undermine their process. Some will say, who's going to be the leadership? Who's going to be the leader, rather? And we have had all these parties you mentioned, their leaders saying that they will be the best. Halifa Saleh, for instance, who was the mastermind of the coalition, said he's not going to go into any coalition again because of his experience of the bad coalition they had. If you want, come and join them, and they will lead. And I think most of the parties you are seeing today, I don't think Mama Kande is going to succumb to any leadership that he doesn't take. Citizen Alliance, I doubt as to whether, you know, Cisse will want anybody to lead him. I will be surprised, definitely, if I see them surrender their position and will want to know under what conditions they're going to surrender their positions. You know, so I'm waiting. I don't want to start trying to give a hypothetical explanation of what should and shouldn't happen. But let's just take a look and see where they are heading. I see the same kind of chaos that happened to the APRC when they start, because this has been going on, you know, the APRC NPP has been going on for 3 years. This is a sudden thing. Let's see it evolve to where it is going to.
Well, Esa is saying he's winning, but one person who is also, or one party that is also saying they are winning is UDP. They had a hugely successful meeting over the weekend, and going by that crowd, the supporters are saying now their victory is confirmed.
Yeah, okay. Well, that is, I think, very measuring that crowd, using the crowd to be a yardstick of measuring their victory will be rather naive to me. Because, you know, I heard one woman from Sukuta in an audio, you know, we also circulate audios that really favor us, where this woman is laughing, saying that all those who gathered at Sukuta were transported from all corners of the country, Koina to everywhere, and that somebody even said it is all the votes they are going to have during the election. We're talking about 900,000 people. If you had that crowd and, you know, like try to, you know, put it...
use that as yardstick.
Yeah, then you are really making a wrong calculation.
Now, let's talk about something that has also beset our politics.
Yes.
Politics of insult. That
very bad.
You will have a lot of that.
Yes.
You have politics of insult galore in Gambia. You are a senior citizen, very experienced. What is the reason behind this? People do not necessarily, politicians and their supporters do not necessarily speak on issues or argue on issues. Rather, they go after the person.
Your personality, they insult you, demean you, fabricate stories, all kinds of things. But I think I want to explain in that. He said, people who don't have ideas, don't have anything to present, cannot defend their arguments and their positions, are those who resort to insulting and being very aggressive, you know, manufacturing stories that do not exist, and all whatnot. So that, I think, answers the thing. I have heard people fabricate stories about Sam Sarr that I don't know where they got it from. You know, and when I listen to them, I know they have no substance to deliver other than what they have created for them to be heard. What is also dangerous about it is some of them are very vocal, and when they talk, they tend to be very convincing to especially those of the same caliber with them. But I think the very reasonable people operate beyond, above that thing. You know, I don't expect Barrow, Dabo, Citizen Alliance, CC, and others to endorse any of these people. And, you know, that is why when that Yusuf Suso and that Bakari Tarawale identified with themselves with UDP and started making threatening statements about killing the president, go and burn the markets, kill the ministers, I said all parties should condemn it, including the UDP. I'm surprised that they did not, but I understand that this Suso has already been arrested in Turkey. The guy who was saying that, swearing his mother and father that he will kill Barrow and his wife. So you see, like, but again, I think there is an inter-party committee that I believe when they sit together should try to sort these things out. Make sure they discipline their followers. You know, let them understand that after all, the day after elections, we want to live together again and continue and give chance for the next 5 years for another person who could win.
Let me ask you finally on the IEC. The
Yes.
IEC will play the biggest role here in this election. You're not a very big fan.
I have never been there fan.
The IEC. I mean, that is apprehension, really. That is anxiety as to how the election is going to look like. Because the way things are shaping up, it would seem to one as if it is a do or die affair. So in a situation such as that, the IEC as the referee should be really, really careful in terms of an error. If that should happen, I mean, that could easily trigger.
Yeah, that could also trigger another impasse, and we don't want to do that again.
I don't want another economic.
Yeah, because no, I think I think the world has fatigue about Gambian crisis, you know. But yes, I have challenged the IEC a lot because I was not happy about what happened in 2016. That the two sets of results, regardless of how in any way we justify it, was not justifiable anywhere in the world. There has never been elections where you have two sets of results by the same IEC and things went smoothly. That is why I think it undermined what happened, the smooth transition, you know. And then after that, I don't think the government took a serious move to investigate what exactly happened for that to happen. It shouldn't have happened. And I was pushing for that because I was afraid of it could be incompetence. It could be something that we missed. Now, and I thought in the same way we had constituted a commission of inquiry in everything that has gone wrong, the IEC should have had its own commission of inquiry to look into what went wrong. It didn't happen. We have seen it made series of mistakes lately, including the attestation right they gave to the mayor of Banjul, Rohey Malik Lowe, who later on was taken to the courts and was declared illegally registering people in Banjul. Now, that is not a very good signal to the rest of the country, or it is not very good in the confidence building of the IEC.
Yes.
And I have also heard about the last time that there were about 3,000 people who registered multiple times. They have come back to say that, no, it was a mistake. It didn't happen. Why do you announce things like that and say it didn't happen? You see, that undermines the trust people have towards the IEC. So I am afraid that if they make one slight mistake, any loser will challenge the results. And they will be justifiable in challenging results based on their performance, which has really gone bad in some places. That is the only reason but then there is also the inter-party committee that I understand is very much hawkish towards how this election is going to be conducted. And that this time around, I think they would be there with all their eyes open to make sure that mistakes are not committed. I even heard that Ibnul Chambers is part of the coordinating in external forces, trying to make it a very transparent and acceptable elections. And you know that 2016, we did not have foreign observers in the country.
Yes.
And those things are going to happen. So as much as I may have doubt over how they are going to conduct the election, international foreign observers coming could array that kind of fear.
Mr. Samsar, thank you very much for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll come to the end of the show today, but thank you very much.
Oh, I thank you very much too.
For all of your points
there was in fact an issue that I don't know whether we have time to clarify.
Yes.
Was that somebody was even talking about, you know, some illegality on the Constitution, Section 39, blah, blah. But I have come to realize that it's been sorted out. I went to the IEC to ask them about that problem. That, hey, people are saying that if you don't do this and that, there may be chaos.
Yes.
And they showed me everything on the table and say, go and sleep, it's been taken care of.
It's been taken care of.
So I am glad that, I am optimistic that we're going to have a nice election. Someone will win, and when he wins, let us say, congratulations. Let us accept the winner.
And the nation moves on.
Move on. And you call me here that day, and we talk about the next 5 years, what is next?
Of course, and for maybe, I mean, election day, hopefully I'll get you on my panel, inshallah.
Oh yeah, you're going to have this panel on that election day.
It's going to be a tough day.
Well, I probably will be in my house.
I'm not sure one will sleep that day. I'm not really sure, but we'll see how.
The last election day, I was at the State House,
yes.
and I witnessed it.
Yes.
When everything changed and fell apart.
Yes.
I am still living through that trauma.
Yeah, you are still living through that. When some people were so sad about what was happening, you know.
Well, yes,
but things falling apart.
No, that day it was all orderly, you know, because Jammeh came and said, "I agree."
I agree. Yes.
I accept.
He did
hey,
that.
look, I'm not going to challenge this. This guy has won. The Gambians have voted.
He did that.
We were embarrassed. I thought he was going to say, "What do you think?" He didn't ask.
I was at the IEC, but it was tough. It was a tough day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a tough day.
But Jammeh had endorsed everything. In our presence there,
Yes.
he endorsed everything. Ask Axigai was there, the National Security Advisor, Baji, everywhere, everybody was there. I'm not going to challenge this. No, that is over. He has won. Well before even the ICC completed winning, we have tabulated all the numbers. Gabriel, I think, is like Roberts. I think they call him Roberts. He was the one tabulating it. And then, you know, hey, Benjamin Roberts, rather, he was the Minister of Information, I think, or Tourism. He tabulated and said, hey, we have lost 18,000. I said, wow, what are we going to do? Jammeh said, hey, it's over. Gambians have spoken. This is a rigged proof. No mistake is going to happen. Tomorrow, I'm going to congratulate Adam Barrow. You guys go home. And we went home.
Thank you very much, Ogusam, for coming. With
Thank
that,
you.
we'll come to the end of the show today. Thank you very much for being there. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then.
No problem. Thanks, sir. Oh, am I being seen there?